What if the next great global conflict begins not with a bang, but with a flicker on a screen? Satellites suddenly going blind, undersea cables mysteriously being cut, and financial markets spiraling into chaos. This is the scenario that a recently leaked military document sketches out with chilling clarity. It details a potential plan for China to assert control over Taiwan, an island of 23 million people that has become the world's most dangerous geopolitical flashpoint. This essay will dissect that plan. It will do so calmly, using simple language to explain the complex machinery of a potential war. We will explore the methods, the timing, and the immense stakes involved for the entire world. The document is not a declaration of war. It is a blueprint. To understand the gravity of the situation, one must first understand why Taiwan matters so much. Geographically, the island is a critical node in the first island chain. A series of archipelagos stretches across East Asia. Japan, Taiwan, first island chain map. Philippines. This chain contains China's naval power. It limits China's access to the Pacific Ocean. For Beijing, controlling Taiwan would break that containment. It would fundamentally alter the military balance in Asia. It would give China's navy a deep-water port on the Pacific. That would extend its strategic reach by hundreds of miles. It would place U.S. bases in Guam under greater threat. It would place U.S. bases in Japan under greater threat. Some strategists call Taiwan an unsinkable aircraft carrier. Economically, Taiwan's importance is immediate and pronounced. The island leads the world in manufacturing advanced semiconductors. These tiny chips power our smartphones. They power our cars. They power the servers that run the internet. They power guidance systems and advanced weaponry. One company, TSMC, produces over 90% of the world's most advanced chips. A disruption could come from a blockade. A disruption could come from direct conflict. The year 2027 appears with conspicuous frequency in intelligence reports, Pentagon assessments, and strategic analyses concerning Taiwan. This is not arbitrary. The date stems directly from a goal set by Xi Jinping himself. He has called on the People's Liberation Army to accelerate its modernization and achieve the capabilities needed to secure a victory in a potential conflict over Taiwan by that year. This is known as the Centennial Military Building Goal, marking the 100th anniversary of the PLA's founding. It is a powerful, politically significant deadline that has galvanized China's military-industrial complex and focused the minds of its top commanders on a singular objective. 2027 is a milestone, not a confirmed invasion date. It does not mean that Xi Jinping has a countdown clock on his desk set to attack Taiwan on a specific day. Instead, it represents the point in time when China's leadership hopes to possess a credible military option. According to the Pentagon's 2025 report on China's military power, this means having the capacity to prevail in a Taiwan conflict, even in the face of U.S. intervention. It is a benchmark for readiness, a point where the PLA believes its toolbox will be sufficiently full to manage the immense risks of such an operation. The leaked document reinforces this interpretation. It shows a clear alignment between the development of specific weapon systems and the 2027 timeline: advanced hypersonic missiles, amphibious assault ships, cyber warfare units. The plan details training exercises and logistical preparations that are scheduled to culminate around that period, suggesting a concerted effort to reach peak readiness. The first phase of the military plan outlined in the leaked document is not about ship's soldiers, it is about chaos and confusion. Codename Paralysis, this initial stage is designed to be swift, silent, devastatingly effective, aiming to cripple Taiwan's ability to command, control, communicate before the first shot is even fired. The primary weapon in this phase is the cyber attack. Highly skilled PLA cyber units would launch a coordinated assault on Taiwan's critical infrastructure, targeting the power grid, financial systems, transportation networks, government servers. The goal is to sow widespread panic and distrust, making it nearly impossible for leaders to coordinate a coherent defense. Simultaneously, the plan calls for an unprecedented wave of disinformation. A multi-pronged psychological operation would flood Taiwanese social media news outlets' communication channels with a torrent of fake news, deepfake videos of officials surrendering false reports of military defeats. The objective is to shatter public morale and erode trust between the Taiwanese people and their government. By creating a fog of uncertainty and fear, Beijing hopes to induce a state of political paralysis. Leaders hesitate, soldiers doubt their orders, citizens question the will to fight. This information warfare is designed to win the battle for hearts and minds before the physical battle even begins. Another critical element of this phase is an attack on Taiwan's eyes and ears in space. The plan details anti-satellite weapons that are kinetic, non-kinetic, to blind or disable Taiwanese and potentially American surveillance satellites. By denying Taipei real-time intelligence on PLA force movements, the invasion force can maintain the crucial element of surprise. Section 5. Phase 2. The suffocating grip of encirclement. Should the initial paralysis campaign fail, the plan moves to Phase 2. Encirclement. A full-scale blockade, a modern siege to isolate Taiwan and choke its economy. The PLA Navy and Air Force establish a no-go zone around the island. Kaohsiung, Taipei. Commercial shipping halted. Any vessel or aircraft that breaches the quarantine would be intercepted or warned away. The blockade severs the flow of food, energy, critical supplies. This is not just military, it's economic and diplomatic. Beijing would impose sweeping sanctions. It would leverage global supply chains to punish any aid to Taiwan. The goal: rapid economic collapse, hyperinflation and shortages. Analysts call it a short and sharp blockade. Aim: induce total failure within 48-72 hours. Force capitulation before a U.S. carrier strike group could arrive. Diplomatically, China launches a global campaign to legitimize the blockade. Frame it as an internal police matter. Use influence in bodies like the UN to block condemnations and pressure neutrality. Create political division and make coordinated response difficult. The message: this is a Chinese family matter. No outside interference. The encirclement tests will and endurance. It places the burden of escalation on the United States and its allies. Would they run the blockade and risk direct confrontation to resupply Taiwan? The plan bets they will not. It's a coercive strategy to make intervention seem too costly. By demonstrating complete isolation, Beijing hopes to convince Taipei and Washington resistance is futile, paving the way for a negotiated settlement on China's terms without full-scale invasion. It is a chilling calculus. Section 6. Phase 3. The finality of direct action. If paralysis and encirclement fail to break Taiwan's resolve, the leaked plan moves to its third and most violent phase: direct action. Section 7. The American response, a calculated gamble. The leaked military plan is built upon one critical assumption: that the United States and its allies can be deterred, delayed, defeated. Every phase of the operation is designed to complicate the American response. China's 2027 military goal, as defined by the Pentagon, explicitly includes the capability to credibly prevail against America in a Taiwan conflict. This involves fielding an array of carrier-killer missiles, advanced submarines designed to hold U.S. naval forces at risk and push them farther away from the conflict zone, buying the PLA precious time to complete its mission. If a conflict were to erupt, the United States would face a series of excruciating choices. Under the Taiwan Relations Act, the U.S. is committed to providing Taiwan with the means to defend itself, but it is not obligated by treaty to intervene directly. A decision to commit U.S. forces would mean immediate and direct combat with a nuclear-armed peer competitor. a scenario the world has not faced since the Cold War. The risks of escalation would be immense. A local conflict over Taiwan could quickly spiral into a wider regional war, drawing in allies like Japan, Australia, and potentially escalating to the nuclear level. The US and its partners would likely respond with a multifaceted strategy. This would include crippling economic sanctions designed to isolate China from the global financial system, a move that would also inflict severe damage on the US and world economies. Militarily, American submarines' long-range bombers would likely attempt to attrit the PLA's invasion fleet. Allies like Japan, whose southern islands are just over 100 kilometers from Taiwan, could play a crucial role by providing logistical support and potentially engaging PLA forces that threaten its territory. The Justice Mission 2025 drills were explicitly aimed at deterring this kind of external involvement. Section 8. The cost of conflict. A price too high to pay? The leaked document, with its meticulous phases and calculated risks, brings us to a sobering conclusion. A war over Taiwan would be a catastrophe unlike any the world has seen in generations. The human cost would be staggering, with casualty estimates reaching into the tens or even hundreds of thousands. The economic consequences would be devastating, shattering global supply chains, triggering a worldwide depression, erasing trillions of dollars of wealth. The conflict would not be confined to the Taiwan Strait. It would be a global event, with economic shockwaves reaching every household and political shockwaves reaching every household. The real question isn't whether China can take Taiwan, but whether the world is ready to pay the price. Do you think China will act? Tell us in the comments. Subscribe for more geopolitical analysis.